Yeah, so I'm Kristinn Johannsson, and I work for Annata. I'm calling in from Iceland today, and I'm an enterprise architect, and I am responsible more or less for our automotive platform. John, of course, didn't have to spend any time on explaining what Microsoft is or what Microsoft does. Microsoft has become a household name, but that is not true for Annata. But Annata is a company that I'm extremely proud to work for. It allows me to be involved in the automotive industry and provide value to businesses and customers. That is very rewarding. Annata has been around for 20 years. And from the very beginning, the focus has been on one industry, more or less the automotive industry. And we are headquartered out of Iceland, but we have offices where our customers are to support them and our partners, because most of the solutions that we provide are delivered with partners that we have trained and certified in different markets to deliver projects in, for example, local languages. The company is not as large as the companies that you work for, but when it comes to the numbers, it only takes a handful of smart people to deliver a successful project. In the very early days, I would say that Annata was offering similar solutions compared to other typical software providers when it comes to the automotive industry. But today, our position is a little bit unique. I'm gonna use a few minutes to talk a little bit about the challenges that we are seeing. Most of the companies that we are working with are experiencing more or less the same things. We're going to talk a little bit about what we have done to help and how we have successfully delivered results. And then, like before, we're going to go through some of the questions and maybe have a conversation. When it comes to the partnership, Microsoft is a strategic partner, and we actually don't have any partners other than Microsoft. If you don't like Microsoft, you can't have Annata. Microsoft is a productivity and a platform company, and they rely on partners like Adobe and like Annata to actually work with customers and deliver results. We are working closely with the different R&D teams within Microsoft on innovations for OEMs and importers and national sales companies, as well as dealer groups and dealers. And together we have actually delivered one product in the market based on Annata IP, and that is referred to as the Auto Accelerator. It is a common data model that you can deploy, and you will get some sample applications, and you can actually then start connecting this model to data sources and allow data silos to be a little bit broken. When it comes to the solution itself, then we are most of the time referring to a concept called the Annata Automotive Platform. It is more or less built on 3 pillars, and these pillars are all very important. And we use this platform to more or less transform your business. We can help customers move away from monolithic legacy systems or maybe burning platforms, or transform your business or even your business model. We are seeing importers cannibalizing their dealers. We are seeing OEMs offering services, new services, or even offering vehicles directly to consumers. And then, of course, we have all the EV startups that don't have any legacy, and they need a system that will allow, or a set of systems that will allow them to run and act swiftly, because they are in a hurry. The first pillar is called Azure. That is the Microsoft Cloud. So the Azure Cloud Platform actually is more than 200 different products and platform services that we use to bring our solutions to life. Azure is a very secure place, and the Microsoft engineers that run the data centers and the platform services have more certifications that any IT organization can ever get. We actually do have customers that found out the hard way as part of COVID, how vulnerable their on-premise infrastructure can be with ransomware attacks affecting their own infra, but not affecting any of the cloud services. For us to build our platform on Azure also allows us to design and develop scalable solutions, because we have the power of the data center. And workloads that took hours in the past can now be executed in matter of seconds or minutes. As an example, we can run master planning for parts in real time, and we can use artificial intelligence models for demand forecasting also in real time. Azure also has one huge benefit in the form of continuous innovation. New capabilities, platform services, and technologies are being introduced all the time, and we allow our platform to evolve as well to make use of these services. Late last year, we got Azure Purview made available, which we have added to the platform to allow organizations to create a holistic, up-to-date map of the data landscape with automated data discovery, sensitive data classification, and end-to-end data lineage, allowing data consumers to find valuable and trustworthy data. That leads me to the next pillar of the platform, which is actually around modern workplace. The people that are being employed by organizations are of course different from the people that were employed 40 years ago, when many of the legacy systems were developed in-house in most cases. But we more or less have now enabled every single organization to offer to empower the employees. And using Microsoft 365, we are doing this in many different ways. We are providing the productivity platform. We are providing the collaboration platform. But at the same time, we're just allowing every single employee to work on any device, anywhere, anytime, in a very safe manner. And I'm pretty sure that many of you, when we started all to work from home at the beginning of the pandemic, that many of you either experienced yourself or heard stories where moving entire organization to remote work was causing problems. VPN infrastructure was never scaled for every single employee to work from home, or the Citrix desktops that were being used were not coping with the load. But our customers that have completed the transition to the cloud, they were not struggling at all, because the cloud scales in a different way than your internal infrastructure. The third and maybe the most important pillar of the Annata Automotive Platform are actually a set of business applications that we provide, Microsoft and Annata together. We have more or less created an enterprise-ready set of solutions, multi-country, multi-language, multi-currency, multi-brand, even multi-industry, to digitally transform organizations. Even though these are multiple solutions, they are seamlessly integrated, and we are not trying to reintroduce new data silos. The solutions are mature, even though the transition to the cloud is only 5 years old. And we have been building these solutions for the last 20 years. And we offer rich set of functionality. We have a relatively good functional coverage for marketing, sales, and service. And we even support the new business models also out of the box. One of the key investments that we have been doing recently is more or less to change these applications or improve these applications to allow you to store digitally more information about your organization. Not necessarily a digital twin of your organization, but at least what we have to do to drive automation is to actually take knowledge that is currently only known to employees or human beings, and we have to take that knowledge into the systems to build these intelligent systems that we are trying to build and implement and deploy. We have spent a lot of time also to design a methodology with Microsoft to support a phased approach for the transformation. So actually, you can start small, and then over a period of time, you can transform your legacy system landscape and maybe get to a future-proof to-be IT architecture. We also have best practices that we have collected from different industries that we can apply within the automotive industry. We have been looking at retail banking. We have been looking at also how customers behave in the telco industry, and just also to learn from that. But also we have best practices to implement faster and decrease time to market. And I would say that the biggest risk factor that we see as a common thread always is around integrations, and that's an area, or existing integrations, and that's an area where we have developed a relatively good and proven story. So integrations are not our biggest concern. When we do this kind of transformation, in the end, it's going to be the people and the change management within your organization. I mentioned earlier continuous innovation. And for us, as a software provider and a platform provider with business applications for the automotive industry, continuous innovation for us is a game changer. First of all, what we have done is that we have introduced the concept of one version. We release a new improved version of our solutions every single month. Those are cumulative updates, and we actually have also then the hotfixes and the improvements that we need to make. But it also allows us to listen to our customers, listen to the market, look at trends, and we can actually implement new capabilities. It does not take us 3 years to implement a new feature and roll it out to everybody. It takes, in many cases, very short period of time. And if you would like to understand maybe a little bit more about this, if you look back to March 2020 and you look at how Microsoft Teams as a program has evolved, this is more or less the same thing we are doing for business applications, where we can add new capabilities, listen to our customers, and deliver new capabilities relatively quick. And this also, continuous innovation, is something that we can only do because of the extremely large R&D budget from Microsoft that we benefit from. And your organization doesn't have that budget. Your organization cannot really build the complex solutions from scratch that we are offering. So it is always this question of versus build or buy. And in the world of cloud and subscriptions, your organization should focus on your secret sauce, what makes your offering and your brand and your company unique. If your IT organization will start a relatively large build project, they will run into technical debt almost immediately, because that's how quickly the technology landscape actually changes. I would very much like to spend a few minutes to explain how these different business applications all come together. And it is Dynamics 365 out of the box from Microsoft is a marry or a combination of an ERP platform that will allow you to run your business and a CRM platform to more or less communicate with your customers. And we have more or less spent the last 15 years making sure that on the CRM side or the customer engagement side, we have a 360-degree view of the customer. And on the operational side, we are looking at the 360-degree view of each and every vehicle. And then combining these two platforms together, we are able to offer 360 view of both the customer and the vehicle and the combination of thereof. And these different applications can be subscribed to and deployed independently. They are better together, fully integrated out of the box. But in the lower half of the screen, you can see, for example, Dynamics Finance and Operations, where we actually place our traditional import and dealer management system. Even though you can see that that rental and warranty is separate boxes. These are not separate products. You can deploy them all together, and you can implement different modules if you want to. And then at the upper part of the slide, you have the customer engagement products, where we have the sales and we have the rental and such. And together, more or less, this all is combined in the Power Platform. And what we have to do with customers is to look at the legacy systems and how we can use Azure to build a temporary hybrid story where some of your services are in the cloud and some of your infrastructure is still on-premise. And we have to take your legacy data, which is extremely valuable, and make and expose that data to the cloud, so we can light up the data with technologies like artificial intelligence and insights. But at the same time, we need to look at the different technologies of the Annata Automotive Platform and map that toward the business requirements and the business problem that we are trying to solve. Maybe to summarize, the Annata Automotive Platform is more or less we have moved away from forms over data, and we have moved away from reactive actions to proactive actions. And instead of looking at what has happened, we are taking proactive actions based on insights. Also, we're trying to allow you to look at your business or give you a holistic view of your business. So not look at your business as parts, and we are moving away from a siloed view to a connected view. And instead of making decisions on incomplete information, we are able to draw from every connected data source to help predictions on the next best action. And when it comes to focusing on reporting activity that happened in the past, now you should pursue meaningful business goals and outcome for the future. That is more or less what we are offering. And if we just look at how this normally is done, is that we look at the business topic that we are trying to, or the requirements and the problems that we're trying to solve to give the customer the best outcome. And it is most of the time just picking the right parts of the platform, all integrated, of course, and allow you to deploy and go live and get benefits relatively quickly. And like I said, there's a very common theme when it comes to the problems that our customers are experiencing. We all know about, of course, the legacy systems, and we have actually successful customer stories where, for example, companies need to change a 30 or 40-year-old legacy system on a burning platform. And we have one example from a relatively large importer, or a combination of an importer and set of dealerships in Iceland, where they actually were able to first replace legacy with an out-of-the-box solution from Microsoft and Annata to just future-proof their business. But at the same time, because they got the entire platform, they were also able to then benefit from that platform when the economic crisis hit, and they ended up with a set of traded in, or fleet of traded in vehicles as part of the economic crisis in 2008. What they did was they decided to found or start a rental company because the tourists started to come into Iceland, and that was done in weeks. And they have been very successful at running their rental franchise. We also have a lot of EV companies and startups that need something. And we actually have companies coming to Annata, sometimes directly to Annata, sometimes directly to Microsoft, and then to Annata. And these companies have some crazy idea around what they would like to manufacture when it comes to automotive, what type of vehicle, what type of offering they would like to have. And they need help. They need, first of all, they need the platform and the products and the software, but they also need, in many cases, our experience when it comes to the automotive industry, because we have worked across industries, across companies, and we have gathered from many sources the common theme that is more or less the foundation for our best practices. Every single one of you, just like I've been working for Annata for 20 years, every single one of you most likely have also worked for a very long time for your organization, and you know everything that happens there. But we actually have a different view because we are maybe working with 100 different companies or 200 different companies, and we are getting information and knowledge and experience from all these different organizations, combining that, and that's the value of the information that and best practices that we can provide. The last one that I would like to mention is just a company that actually wanted to offer a different model of ownership. So some kind of a subscription model of vehicles, not car sharing, but a subscription model. And that is a project that we managed to deliver in 3 months. Just take the platform, take our best practices, and we were live. So the legacy system, in many cases, of course, there are a lot of technologies and problems that the automotive industry is facing. But when it comes to running your business with business applications and connecting with customers through all the different channels and nurturing every single customer, those solutions do already exist because we have already built them. But before we go into the Q&A, I would just like to share with you some of or how we are working internally and how we are preparing our customers for the real world. For example, if we look at the if somebody would like to offer a subscription service, you subscribe to a vehicle in a country for a period of time. The automotive companies can manufacture the car, and normally it goes through the normal route, but in this case, we're just the OEM is gonna actually open up a subscription service directly. So what we normally do is we just took the different parts of the journey of the customer, journey of the vehicle, journey of the service, journey of the inventory, and how we dispose the old fleet and things like that. And we just map that different journey to the different parts of the platform. And sometimes we can use something out of the box that actually Microsoft provides, and sometimes Annata has introduced the industry flavor, because without Annata, Dynamics and Microsoft 365, they have no idea what a vehicle is. They have no idea what a fleet is, or a contract, or a subscription, or a rental contract. But they definitely know what a customer is and an email address and things like that. So it's all about taking this together, take the Azure, Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, put Annata on top, and it becomes the Annata Automotive Platform.